You're listening to CBC Online at cbchs.org.
CBC Online, we're talking with CBC soccer coach Terry Michler. A couple familiar faces on your staff this summer camp. You got Brock Chapman coming back and Austin Tierney, Post-Dispatch Player of the Year. The opportunity to work with these guys again, what's that been for you?
Oh, it's awesome, because the biggest thing that's important to me is that they're interested in putting something back in the game. So they're trying to improve themselves in a different capacity than they were as a player. Now they want to understand the game from a coaching point of view. And, anything I can do to help anybody in that regards, I'm wide open to be available to help out.
Does it surprise you when you're working with a player, then you see years later that he goes into coaching? Did you ever see it coming with those two guys, specifically Austin and Brock?
Oh, with Austin for sure, because he couldn't tell Austin enough stuff to do. He's always looking for better ways of doing something and willing to work hard, and he wants to become a complete player. And Brock, the same way. I mean, Brock has always been a high achiever. He had a great career for us. And I know for quite a while his goal has been to get back into coaching at a college level, and he's been patient, and now he's got an opportunity, and I think he's going to do very well because he's doing all he can to improve himself, and that's the first important step.
Certainly a lot of these guys are familiar with your voice and your face, and having these new guys come in and kind of talk kind of helps them get a broader understanding?
Well, I'll tell you what it helps is that they are former players coming back to help out. So you can reference their experience as a player, and then you can identify them as a past player that is now interested in coaching. So they bring back with them what they learned at CBC in soccer, and they're trying to help the kids continue in the same ways that they played, and just to keep the product in good shape. So it's all about quality control. We always want to maintain a good quality level.
Certainly has to be fulfilling to you to see two guys who actually just really love the game in its purest form as coaching. What does that mean for you?
Personally, satisfying, very satisfying, because my goal is always to improve the player to the best of my ability and to the best of their potential. So when you see players that you've had become interested in the same thing, they want to learn more about the game to improve themselves and the people that they're working with. Austin does a lot of individual tutoring, soccer tutoring. So he's available to help players on a one-on-one basis improve. So, it's very fulfilling. It's just really a great experience. And we already mentioned before, Randy Roy, another former player, is going to come back this year as my assistant. And Randy wants a career in coaching, so all good for him.
I guess you could say CBC soccer is almost like the Marine Corps. You never really graduate. It's always part of you.
You know what? It works for me. And it's a part of them, I think, because they invest so much when they're part of it, and it's an important tradition to uphold, and it's an important tradition to be a part of. And you're right, you never leave it. I mean, I'm 64 years old. I played when I was, through my high school years here. Been coaching the rest of the time, so I've invested a lot to maintain that tradition, that standard as best as I can. But still, deep down, it's still important to me that it's right. Just same as when I was a player, I did what I could as a player to make it right. Now as a coach, I got a different sense of responsibility, still trying to make it right.
Now, as someone who's been coaching for 40 years, your entire adult life, basically, what would you tell a senior who's maybe looking to get into coaching? What should they do?
Get as much experience as you can, be open-minded, find out all you can, and then make it work for you. That's the biggest thing. You can't be somebody else. But it's real important that they establish a good base of knowledge. Being a player isn't an answer to being a coach, okay? Coaching's so much more than being a player. Being a player helps to become a coach because you understand some of the things that players go through. But there's another dimension in coaching that they have to understand. That's how to coach the player. So you got to understand the game and the mechanics of the game, and then you got to have the man management to get the players motivated and play to their best level. And it all takes time. We're all better coaches as time goes on than we were years ago, that's for sure.
Is coaching still a great profession in your mind? I mean, the coaches get a good rap, bad rap around the country. Is coaching still a good place to be?
You know what? Anything gets a bad rap, It's just, if you have people doing the wrong things, you're going to get a bad rap. The profession itself is awesome. It's awesome, And it's like anything. If you got people in it that are abusing it, they need to find a way to weed them out, because you don't want to ruin with the goodness of the profession because of a few bad apples.
Okay, so tell me about playing for Coach Michler, and what, now that you're coaching itself, what has that experience been like for you?
It's been terrific, man. I can't tell you how much Coach Michler's influenced everything I do, just when I practice myself, but then also when I go and train kids, I take everything that he's ever taught me, and I got just folders and folders of paper that he gave us from freshman to senior year with a bunch of information that we use for the CBC season. But then also I just take that, convert that, and help me train my kids. And it's just unbelievable.
But to be asked to come back, certainly by one of the top coaches in the nation, has to be a real honor.
It's unbelievable, man. I can't even tell you how proud I am and just how honored I am, like you said, of him asking me to come back and work camps, and just helps me train myself by giving me drills and whatever else. And he's always there for me too. I can call him at any time and just talk about whatever. And we always rehash old seasons and stuff like that, because you never get away from this stuff, man.
A lot of people coach soccer. What makes Coach Michler a little bit more special than the other guys?
The main thing, attention to detail. Michler is all about all the little things. And if you do all the little things right to him, you'll be able to do the big things. And from what I've watched and what I've observed, he's been right every time. And when we go through our seasons and play here, it's about the teams that win, the teams that go all the way and win state. It's the guys, the teams that do all the little things. All the little things, yeah. It's just like wearing the right clothes to practice, being the best you can be off the field in the classroom, everything like that. Doing all the little things right. And that's what he's all about. Doing the little things right, because then you can do the big things.
Think he's helped to become a better soccer player?
Absolutely. I wouldn't be the player I am today without Michler. No doubt about that. I almost quit soccer in 8th grade, and it's because of that guy right there that I started to play again and enjoyed it. So.
Stuff. Thanks, man. With Brock Chapman, head coach at Iowa Wesleyan, head soccer coach, coming back here to work the summer camps. Brock, what's going on this summer?
Not much. Just came in town to work some camps for Coach Terry Michler, and the main thing to learn a lot from him.
First, how many years have you been head coach? This is your first year?
This will be my first year as head coach at Iowa Wesleyan. I started there in March, so this will be my first season.
So you played soccer at CBC. What happened after CBC? Where'd you go?
Actually, I went right next door to Missouri Baptist, and I played there for 4 years. That's where I started my coaching career as well. I was a grad assistant for 2 years, and then went on to Iowa Wesleyan.
So as a player, now you're coming back as a coach. You see the game a lot differently as a coach?
I do. It's definitely two different things, playing the game and coaching it. You see a lot from the sidelines that you can't really see on the field. And now I even stopped playing a lot to observe the game a lot more.
Now you're coming back to work with Coach Michler. What kind of experience has that been like for you?
It's been great. I come out here and I get abundance of knowledge every day from him, and that's what I came for. To learn as much as I can from him.
Do you see him differently now as a colleague, as a coach, rather than as a player?
I do. When I was playing, I was a little bit intimidated, but that's a good thing from a coach, because I work my hardest for him, and it's just a blessing to be out here and learn as much as I can from him.
In terms of coming back to work the camps, it has to be a real thrill to come back at your old school to work with the kids.
Yeah, it's awesome to see what's next for the cadets. So it's good.
Getting a couple looks on maybe some people on your radar screen.
I am definitely. I already got a few phone numbers, so. It'd be great to have some guys from Missouri, better yet, CBC up at my school.
Now talk about just the opportunity. You're a young guy, being able to be a head soccer coach. Certainly got to be a real big thrill for you.
Yeah, it's awesome. I definitely reached a goal of mine, and all I can say is it's a blessing to be where I am. It's the start of my career, and hopefully the start of a long career.
Now, what would the kids say, Brock Chapman, the coach? How do they describe your players?
My players describe me as, I'm a straightforward guy. When we hit the field, it's all about business. And, off the field, I'll be a nice guy too.
Good stuff. Any final words about work with Coach Michler? What has he taught you in your career about coaching?
I'm still learning from him, so there's no one thing that I've learned from Terry Michler. I'm still learning books loads from him, and I will continue to do that as long as he's here and as long as I'm able to learn from him.
What do you expect from your team this season? Have you had a chance to start working out with the guys?
We worked out a little bit, but I don't really like losing, so I'm gonna set the goal as a win conference. So we're gonna try to win conference this year.
Good stuff. Again, Brock Chapman, head soccer coach at Iowa Wesleyan, coming back to CBC work the camps. Again, CBC Online, you got soccer.
CBC. Men for tomorrow, brothers for life.